What's going on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter on Periscope, wherever you're watching? Welcome to Gooner Souls. Let's talk about Arsenal versus Brentford. Obviously, an article released that we had behind the scenes game against them, where we gave them an ass whooping of 4-0, fam. Was this revenge or was this just no pressure, no substance? Or was there something in this game? Obviously, being told that we reverted back to a 3-4-3 or a three-back formation, is this something which Arteta will be using going forward? I wanted to do a video or a stream talking to you guys about the tactical outputs that Arteta could be using, what systems we could be seeing, and how the signings make sense to the system we're looking to play. But obviously, if you are new, guys, do subscribe, like, or share, and follow if you're on Twitch. Every support does help, and let's get right into it, people. So reports came out today. Obviously, we're playing Brentford in a friendly game behind closed doors. I don't know whether recordings for this match will be coming out, but we were told we beat them 4-0, and it was a very good performance. Reverting back to a three-back, is this because there was no Odegaard and ESR due to the international breaks and being called up for their national team? Or is this a system which Arteta is trying to implement? Let's get right into that, people. So obviously, as we can see, we've got a match report. Arsenal 4, Brentford 0. Came at a time where it didn't really matter. And, you know, when it mattered in the Premier League, August 13th, we didn't beat them. We got our ass handed to us 2-0 in that game. Disappointing. Of course, there's context to the game. There wasn't as many. There was a lot of injuries in the Premier League game. And obviously, today it is a friendly, so the pressure is off us. But obviously, 4 second half goals. So that means we haven't really addressed the fact we start off slowly, which is another disappointing factor for me, because we do need to start games a lot better and we need to be looking at them in a different way now. Goals coming from Gabriel, Lacazette, and 2 from Cedric. Obviously, the only one that we know is Lacazette scored a free kick on a foul from Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Now, the funny thing is, Ainsley actually played as a midfielder in this game. Is that going to be his position? And obviously, we know about the fact that El Neni, after 30 minutes into the game, got subbed off, and Charlie Patino was the one who replaced him and played about 60 minutes, and from reports, had a very impressive game. Obviously, let's get into kind of what we know. Ben White, Gabriel started in a 3-man defense. Both came through unscathed after recent illnesses and injury problems, respectively. The latter also got their name on the score sheet, Gabriel, lashing home, but a clearance fell to him just inside the area. But Cedric, who stole the show late on, scoring a well-taken brace to add some gloss to the valuable workout for Mikel Arteta's side. Playing at a left wing back, he lobbed the keeper after breaking the offside trap with 15 minutes left. Then rose well and head in Nicola Pepe's cross. So he scored a header and he lobbed the keeper, which sounds promising, let's be honest. Breaking that, we know that's how we deploy ourselves. We attack on the left-hand side more than we do on the right. That is the reliance of Mikel Arteta's system, the asymmetrical system, which we get told about a lot. Lacazette had scored earlier, scored our second, curling home a free kick after Ainsley Maitland-Niles obviously got fouled outside the box. Nearly all of the players who are not away on international duty were involved, with Aaron Ramsdale enjoyed a relatively quiet afternoon in goal. Pablo Mari started, obviously, so it was a back three of Ben White, Murray, and then Gabriel onto the left. Mohamed El Neni partnered Ainsley Maitland-Niles on the pitch, though the Egyptian was withdrawn in the first half to be replaced by the youngster Charlie Patino, who got about 60 minutes from the reports. The front line was Martinelli, Pepe, and Lacazette. So that's obviously interesting front three there. Big up, Souls. Always value your honest. Thank you very much, Mohammed Man. You too. Obviously, if you are new to the channel, please do hit the like and subscribe button for us. It does massively help. And tell us what you think. What do you think Arteta is going to be doing? Obviously, we know goals came from Gabriel in the 46th minute, so straight after halftime. Lacazette in the 60th minute, and then a brace from Cedric, 76th and 89th minute. But what I am going to do is talk about tactics more than I want to talk about this game because we don't have the facts and figures on this. So let's get right into talking about how the tactics and two systems that we could be seeing. So as we know, obviously the 4-2-3-1, which is more of the system we have been accustomed to seeing from Mikel Arteta. Now let's see how kind of we can use this system to deploy ourselves right now. So obviously in goal, it's usually Leno. So let's just put it as it is. Obviously Mohamed here saying 3 at the back seems like his plan going forward. I'm excited to see how much of the system would free up White to attack. What do you do? Do you mean Ben White to attack? What do you mean by that? Sorry. Do you mean like his ball progression opportunities and being able to be comfortable and progress the ball from the back, or do you mean it in a sense? Do you want to see him further up the pitch? Be interesting to know what you mean exactly. But for me, yeah, like I do understand kind of what you're saying. Is you want to see Ben White progress the ball further forward and be a bit more risky and kind of connect the defense to the attack directly, bypassing the midfield. Which definitely works because that is what he is. Obviously, on the right-hand side, we know it's going to be Ben White and Gabriel. So we know this is going to be, if obviously given everyone is fit, this is how we're looking to line up. Obviously, with the Tomiyasu signing, it does look like he may be coming in to become the right back for Arsenal for the long run anyway, for the foreseeable future. Obviously, we've got Kieran Tierney. If everyone's fit, I do think it's going to be Xhaka. I know a lot of people are talking about Lokonga, but I'll explain why he doesn't fit into the system that we're looking to play. But it'll be Partey, or obviously the alternative is going for Lokonga. This is where Odegaard comes in for me. Onto the right-hand side, it's probably more than likely going to be Nicola Pepe with the form he's shown. And then obviously, I do think Saka is going to be used more on the left-hand side personally. That's just a personal thing. And then obviously, Aubameyang's going to be the one to lead the attack. So if we do play a 4-2-3-1, given everyone's fit, this is the way I think Arteta will line it up. Mo here with the chat saying, sorry, I mean that he can progress the ball while runs because Tomiyasu is active and can cover behind him instead of a more sluggish 100%. And I think that's why they brought him in so he can tuck in, make a 3-man centre-back or 3-man line when we do progress the ball further. And obviously with a vertical pass and especially with the left-hand side with the asymmetrical, which we are going to look into. And I've got a little tactics board and I'll show you kind of how this all kind of plays out in game and how the transitions go in. So that will clarify a lot more about how this actually works and how someone like a Ben White is very useful, or even a Tomiyasu playing at centre-back is a lot better than someone like a Chambers and Cedric coming into the system. Obviously, there is the alternative method, which obviously looks like something which he may be doing, which is looking at the 5-back or the 3-back formation. This is interesting to how many ways we can actually use this. Obviously, again, I do think it's going to be Leno in goal. Unfortunately, I do want to see Aaron Ramsdale, but I just don't think that wish is going to come true, unfortunately. In the middle, it would be for me, this is where it gets a bit... how would you do this one? This is how I would do it if I was playing. Personally, I would go Tommy in the middle, White on the right, and then on your left-hand side, I'd go Gabriel. And then your left wing, obviously, we know this is going to be Kieran Tierney. Granted that he's fit, but it'd be Tavares. If not, on the right-hand side, this is how I would do it. And I don't know exactly if this will happen, but Maitland-Niles as a right wing back would just be phenomenal to play. And then obviously your 2 mid, this is where you can have your Partey and your Lokonga, but it will be more than likely Xhaka coming in there and Thomas Partey playing. Unfortunately, that's not the way I want to do it. But in this, obviously, you've got Saka on the left. Then you've got probably Pepe on your right-hand side with Aubameyang going up top. But obviously these are the two ways that he could actually implement his systems and actually get the most out of it. But what I do want to do, and what the focus of this video was meant to be, is more of a tactics, kind of outlining the tactics. Obviously, if we are looking at sort of a 4-2-3-1 system, this is roughly how we'd set up, just going into the game. But what will happen more than likely in transition is this. So what we'll see is more players coming in. Obviously, this will go there, and there. So this is the kind of deploy that you'll see. So what ends up happening is Tomiyasu, forget about the numbers for a second, just more about the position. What will happen is Tomiyasu coming in right back would tuck it in. You'd have Thomas Partey coming in, covering this area, being a more box-to-box, and then you'd have a floating number 10. And then Aubameyang, obviously, what we want him to do is kind of occupy this area, and then your right-hand strike, which more than likely will be Pepe, would be more of your advanced player coming into these positions. Odegaard coming in and connecting the midfield. And then what happens is, what tends to be the play in these systems is Leno more than likely makes the pass out to Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu plays the ball in here. That's how the transitions are going to be looking. But also, when you look at this, because you're moving, obviously you've got this fluid formation. What ends up happening is the midfield here, who's Thomas Partey, occupies these positions, comes into a box-to-box, and he tucks right in, allowing you to kind of just cover the defense, comes forward, and obviously what will happen is Leno goes into Tomiyasu or even Ben White in this situation. So you could get a system like this where it goes there, and then you could be playing it in. But the aim is actually the vertical over the ball. And that's kind of where we're going to be playing it into the likes of Saka and Yatini, who are going to create overloads on the left-hand side, who are going to come in like that. And then this is how we're looking to play. And then obviously Aubameyang can come in and just occupy this space. And obviously your sort of right-hand side can come in. And this is how this asymmetrical system ends up playing in game, is more favored to the left. And then obviously you've got your players coming in. Obviously BX here, big up yourself. 3-4-3 is what you want to be seeing. Obviously, I am trying obviously keep a balanced way of how we could look. But let's say, for example, another way that we do transition a lot is obviously using that 4-2-3-1 system. So that would come in kind of like this. Again, like I said, ignore the numbers. It's just the way this works out. But another way that you can do it, obviously, when you want to play out the back, what tends to happen is right now, what we're doing is giving more of the responsibility to going on to the left. And then from the left, it goes to Tierney or to Xhaka. But what ends up happening is Xhaka naturally just wants to make the pass here, which is why we get into so much trouble. All right, you mean in the future? Yeah, 100%. I think he does look really good. He solves a lot of problems for us. So it should be hopefully a good signing to be made. I hope he does as well. I want him to have all the success. He does look like a really top-level signing for us. So hopefully that does come to fruition. And obviously, let's just get rid of all of that for a second. So when we do set up like this, what ends up tending to happen is we do this. So this is where the 4-2-3-1 asymmetrical systems come in. So this is obviously, as we can see, we start to favor the left-hand side a bit more than we do. And obviously, Xhaka kind of drops into that left-back position. Kieran Tierney bombs forward. Saka comes into these positions. Obviously, Tierney coming into a wide overlap with Saka being more of an inside forward there, with Tierney coming in wider to the left, further forward, with Aubameyang coming in round this area here. And then what tends to happen is we want to make those crosses in, which come from here, kind of into these areas here, and your striker comes in. But what ends up happening is if you have a solid right back, Pepe's got that freedom to come in and also assist in. So if the ball's coming there, he'd be waiting for the rebound. Odegaard would come into these areas just outside of the box, waiting to retrieve the ball, just to loof it back into the area. And then obviously you've got Saka and you've got Pepe and Aubameyang waiting in the box. Mr. Silver Fox, man, big up yourself, man. Hope you're doing well. We need to get bodies in that box. But this is the way you do it, though. So obviously Saka is going to move in as soon as what happens is, as soon as he's made the pass here, he moves. Yeah. And then Odegaard is the one waiting outside the box just for the rebound or just for the clearance. And then you've got one man trying to cover. And this is kind of where it comes in. So you've got the overloads being created and then the three back with the one midfielder just kind of making the pressure so that you don't get run through midfield. It is a very difficult system to really master, but it's something which he looks like he's going to do. But how this transition plays out at the back is Leno receives the ball to a Tomiyasu or a Ben White. Ben White receives the ball here, progresses the ball forward. Then you've got your two back, and he progresses as far as he can, obviously, depending on how the system plays out, and then makes this ball here. He tries and plays it into this area, just so that your left-hand side can then take on the ball and really do some damage with it. And then obviously, like I said, once the ball is received, you go and create your wide overloads. And then Pepe comes into the box, Saka comes into the box, Aubameyang comes into the box, and then Odegaard floats around outside, in my opinion, just to be able to get that rebound and hoof the ball back into the danger area once again. We need to completely overwhelm Norwich early, 100%, and that's one of the things, we're not doing really well at the moment, is starting games quickly. We start them well, we just don't take our chances, so it does become a big problem, which we need to be solving. It doesn't look like we did that today. 46 minutes, so second half again, so we have waited a while before we were able to go in and really get the game started. So positive thing is we did get 4 goals. Worrying thing, why in a friendly? So there are a lot of concerns going into a game like this. But obviously, there are 2 ways to play this, and it's not going to be as easy as I'm explaining, obviously. There are going to be differences coming in. But let's say, for example, we start off with this sort of 5-back formation instead of the traditional way that we have been playing. Like I said, ignore the numbers. It's just the way this kind of app does them. Delete that. But obviously, when we have that 5-back, this is kind of how we'll be looking. Obviously, then you've got operators within the middle. This is where you can have Partey Lokonga and not worry too much. But again, it'll be similar. It'll be very similar. This is where you'll have Tomiyasu, Ben White, and Gabriel in your back line to be able to make it in the best way possible, in my opinion. Tierney, Gabriel, come in here. You've got your 3 backs. So this allows you to bomb more people forward because you've still got, your players box in, get Saka into the box and get Tierney wide, bring him forward. And this is where you can create more of an overload. Partey being your more advanced midfielder. Leno gets the ball, he progresses it, comes in. He can come into this sort of area, play it back if he needs to. They can play between each other. Gabriel can come in and occupy a more further role. And then again, it's always going to be this way. It's always going to be going over to the left-hand side. Let's see here. A loss is out of the question. We need 3 points. Sambi, Partey, ESR, or Odegaard. Yeah, that's looking like it's going to be the case, obviously, with El Neni going. The only other alternative is Charlie Patino coming in. He seems to be impressed. He must have impressed Arteta. And that is obviously one of the questions we're waiting to see, whether Lokonga and Partey, or would it be Partey and Patino who end up playing together, or will it be Ainsley, Maitland-Niles? The questions are up for grabs. It is a difficult one to answer because there are options, so we'll have to wait and see. But obviously, in the tactical sense, this is kind of how we're looking to break out. But obviously, Leno then does always have the option to go to Gabriel. Gabriel can come into this space and advance it, and then hoof it into the left-hand side. But what this allows us to do also is get into this position here. How do you rid of that? Yeah. And then hoof it into this area instead. So it does give us a more balanced attack. Ainsley Maitland-Niles as a CDM makes it. The thing is, right, with Maitland-Niles, the only thing is he applying himself properly? once he gets that motivation in him, I don't have a doubt that he can do the role and he can be good. It's just a matter of whether he can come out and do that. That's my only question, is whether he comes out and he's fully motivated, fully fired up to want to be better than he is. That's the only thing. So that's a question that will get answered. But the 3-4-3 allows you. But then the problem is, right, I think people need to not get bogged down with the idea of how we start a formation, whether it's a 4-2-3-1, because what they both allow you to do, especially with the Tomiyasu coming into the equation, is allow you to turn into a 3-back in transition, have 3 players back, have your midfield bomb forward. That's why when people sit there and tell me Lokonga and Partey may not work, I've been saying it positionally, they won't work. But if you have a Tomiyasu coming in and doing that defensive work, turning into a 3-back with Gabriel White already as your centre-back partners, but then have Tomiyasu as the right back and then coming into a 3 centre-back formation, it really does help. And especially if he's the middleman, because he's 6'2", got the aerial presence. You've got another man who's got aerial presence in Gabriel. This can really create the balance that we need, transition better, and that is how we break these teams down. And obviously, if you guys have got any questions, obviously this wasn't going to be a very long one. I just wanted to do quite a quick one just to kind of tactically break down, just look at the systems and look at kind of the reports that came out. Obviously, there are speculations that El Neni might be gone this summer due to the fact that obviously with him coming off early, indicated to a lot of people that he might be gone. That's the reason he was. But if you guys have got any questions, I'd be more than willing to answer them. And obviously do want to interact with you guys a lot more. Also, with the international break being here, I would love to get some ideas, whether you want to pop them on Twitter, whether you want to pop them in the comment section or in the chat box if you are in here. Let me know what kind of videos you want me to do. What kind of ideas do you have? Is there anything you'd like me to talk about? I'd love to do little player profiles if that's something that you guys are interested in. And obviously bringing you streams regularly. I can't promise a daily stream. I am trying to become a bit more consistent with the content that I'm releasing, trying to do it at 6-7 o'clock. It just seems to be the time that I can be free. I am working on getting podcasts back on for you guys as well, getting guests on, getting their thoughts and opinions. And obviously we're rolling from there. But BX here there's a ton of goals in our squad. We just need to unlock it with the right style. El Neni needs to go, but we're really short-handed. That's the concern a lot of people have. Obviously, people are thinking El Neni goes out and then Patino comes in. As much as he's got the potential, as much as we're looking to integrate Patino into the starting 11, or not in the starting 11, sorry, into the starting team, it is going to be a question of whether he can do this. Obviously, if you guys have got any questions or if you want to ask me anything, any thoughts or opinions on matters, obviously do get them in. I'm really curious to see Antonio with Jamaica versus Mexico today. A lot of games. Yeah, 100%. I think the international break has been a really sort of an exciting one for a lot of people. Jamaica are looking to be a serious international team. I'm not talking about quality, but it's just the amount of people who could have been could have committed to England, have now committed to obviously Jamaica, the Reggae Boys, and obviously you've got Bailly going there as well, Leon Bailey or Bailly, however you say it, and obviously with Antonio, Ravel Morrison. Do forgive me. I think Wes Morgan's now retired, so he's no longer playing. I can't remember all of them. Yeah, like Ravel Morrison was quite a. I've met him a few times actually. Quite funny enough. Being in Manchester, he does shop around, especially with his Premier League move to Sheffield. It's not quite far, so he used to come to the Trafford Centre a lot as well. So that was quite interesting when I met him. So Ravel Morrison as well. Like they look exciting on paper. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an expert and I watch their games or anything, but from just conversations I've had with people on Twitter, obviously a lot of Arsenal fans and Jamaican fans are, there are a lot of them in the community. So we do hear about how they're doing and their progression in a footballing sense. But they seem to be getting a lot more players being more committed to them than they are for the England side or whatever other nationalities they could play for. So that's really good for them. But obviously, just to kind of wrap things up a little bit here, let me know your ideas if there are any ideas you guys have for the international break, because obviously news and rumors are going to be quiet with firstly the transfer window shutting. So there's not going to be a lot to talk about on that front. There might be a few outgoings, obviously with Kolasinac being injured. We'll have to wait and see whether Besiktas still want him, or if not Besiktas, sorry, what was it? Fenerbahce, sorry, still want him, or whether that move is now out of the equation due to the injury. Time will tell on that one. But thank you very much, everyone, for watching and tuning in. Obviously, do hit that subscribe button. Do like the video. I am appreciative of all the support I'm getting. I will try and make more regular content on this channel, transitioning into a little bit of gaming here and there where I can. Just waiting for the new games to be released, really. I don't think there's a point of doing FIFA 21 content because I don't know how many people want to watch that. Obviously, once FIFA 22 does come out, I will be doing a Road to Glory series, maybe even a Road to Arsenal's Best Team series on that. But thank you very much, people. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. And this is Gunnar signing out. Peace.